Hello, it's Sonia from the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. So today this video is part 2 of the 18-inch doll set, the little beach set we've been making. Don't have a name for it yet, but when you watch this video, you'll see the name in the title. So now we are going to work on the hat, the sandals, and the little beach bag. So we're going to start with the hat first. So we already made the top and the pants, so that was part 1. And so this is to finish up the outfit. So she's all set for a day at the beach. And as I said before, the hat, this whole set actually should fit most 18-inch dolls like American Girl. Alright, so we are still using our G hook or 4.25 millimeter. And the hat, I would recommend making in at least 2 colors. So I'm using the same color that I used for the pants, this pretty peach color, which doesn't show up very well on camera. It almost looks white, but it is actually a really pretty peachy pink color. So to start off with, the hat is made top down. So you're going to work at the top of the hat and then work your way down. So we are going to chain 2. And in the second chain from your hook, you're going to work 4 single crochet. And again, we're using DK weight yarn. So a little bit not as heavy of a weight as worsted. A little bit heavier than sport, kind of in between sport and worsted. So if you have like Style Craft DK weight yarn, that's a really nice yarn for this project. Or Karen Simply Soft, that's another one that is labeled worsted, but I feel like it's a lighter weight than worsted. That's just my personal opinion. Alright, so we have worked 4 single crochets, and what you want to do is place a stitch marker in your last stitch here, because we're going to work in continuous rounds. So this helps you to mark your last stitch so you know where you are in your pattern, because it's really easy to lose track of your rounds. So I'm just using my scrap piece of yarn there. If you do have real stitch markers, certainly feel free to use those, but I don't. I just use scraps of yarn. Alrighty, so we've got 4 single crochet for round 1. So for round 2, you're just going to work 2 single crochet in each of your single crochet. So you will have a total of 8. So we're just doubling. So there's 1. So I'm at my last stitch here, and I'm going to pop in my 2 single crochet. So now I have a total of 8 single crochet. I'm going to put my stitch marker right back in there. And working in continuous rounds just helps to eliminate a seam. Just looks a little bit neater and tidier than joining after each round. Again, just my personal opinion. So I have 8 single crochet for round 2. So for round 3, we are going to work extended single crochet. Like if you made the pants already, then you will be familiar with this stitch. We're going to work 2 extended single crochet in each of these stitches for a total of 16. So if you've never done extended single crochet, insert your hook like a single crochet. You have your 2 loops, yarn over, chain 1 or pull through 1 loop, and then yarn over, pull through both. So you've worked 1 extended single crochet. And if you've made any of my other patterns, I absolutely adore extended single crochet. So there's 2 extended single crochet, and we're working 2 in each stitch, so we'll have a total of 16. I think extended single crochet in the round is a really lovely stitch. It's great for sweaters, garments, and it's kind of a flatter stitch, so it's not as bulky as if you're just working regular single crochet. I feel like that's more of like a bulky or slightly kind of rounded in a way, if that makes sense, where this, it's a little bit flatter. And I just think it looks nice. So it's just me. Alright, so here is our last stitch, working our 2 extended single crochet. So you can see our hat is growing. So round 3 is complete. And I did not do a magic circle. Some people like to do magic circles when they're starting out in the round. When I learned to crochet, magic circle wasn't a thing. You worked in the chain. I did learn how to do magic circle. I actually have a magic circle tutorial on my channel. So if you want to learn how, again, that's not my favorite either. I actually prefer this way. I think it's a little bit sturdier. I've heard some horror stories of magic circle coming apart. I actually saw someone had made this absolutely beautiful blanket on Facebook, and I guess it was made up of squares, but the center of the squares was like a circular motif, and they started it off with magic circle, and she washed her blanket, because when you're working a blanket it gets dirty, and all of the centers of her blanket, and I'm sure she washed it on gentle. She used regular acrylic yarn, very sturdy yarn. I've done it myself. I've made a blanket with acrylic. I want to wash it so it's fresh and nice to give to that person. Actually, I wash it and then I lay it out to dry. That's how I block my blankets mostly. And all of the centers of her beautiful motifs came undone. I was crying for her. It was terrible. She was so upset, and I don't blame her. So, that's my 2 cents there with the magic circle. But, feel free to try it. Maybe you would have better luck. All right. So, enough of story time. We have round 3. We've worked 16 extended single crochet. So, for round 4, we are just going to work even. So, you're going to work 1 stitch in each stitch. So, you will have a total of 16 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and work even, and I will meet you back for round 4. Alright, so I have finished up round 4, so I just worked even for round 4. So now we are ready for round 5, and we are going to work 2 extended single crochet in each stitch, so we'll have a total of 32, because right now we have 16. So you're just popping in. So you can see why we're using the stitch marker, otherwise we would lose track. Well, at least I would. Maybe you wouldn't, but I would. And I hate it if my stitch marker comes out and I'm like, ah! So don't let that happen. So I'm going to keep going, working my 2 extended single crochet in each of these stitches, and I will meet you back. Alright, so I have finished round 5. So we have our 32 extended single crochet, and now for round 6 we are going to work even. So that means we're just going to put 1 extended single crochet in each stitch. So we'll have, again, a total of 32 stitches for round 6. So I will meet you back at the end of round 6. Alright, I've just finished up round 6. So now we are ready for round 7. So round 7 we're going to do some more increasing. So we're going to do it in a sequence of 8 since we already have 32 stitches. So how we're going to do that is I'm going to work 1 extended single crochet in the next 7 stitches, and then in my 8th stitch I'm going to work 2 extended single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and stitch number 7. And the next one, we're going to pop 2 stitches in there. And we're going to keep doing that. So 1 stitch in the next 7, and then in the 8th stitch you're going to work 2 stitches. So at the end of this round, we will have a total of 36 stitches. So I'm going to keep going, working my increasing here. So I will meet you back. Alright, I've just finished up round 7, and so now we have a total of 36 extended single crochet. So for round 8 we are going to do some more increasing. So we're going to work an extended single crochet in the next 8 stitches. So we're working a sequence of 9, and then in our 9th stitch we're going to pop in 2 stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in stitch 9 I'm going to put 2 stitches in. So I'm going to continue that all the way around, so 1 stitch in the next 8 and then 2 in stitch 9. So I will meet you back, and at the end of round 8 you will have a total of 40 stitches, 40 extended single crochet. Okay, so we have finished round 8. So at the end of round 8 you're going to have 40 extended single crochet. So now we're ready for round 9. So you're going to work 1 stitch in the next 9, and then you're going to work your 2 extended single crochet in stitch 10. And at the end of round 9 you're going to have a total of 44 extended single crochet. So I'm going to keep doing that. So I'm going to work 1 stitch in the next 9, and then in stitch 10 I'm going to work 2 stitches and then continue that around. So I will meet you back at the end of round 9. Alright, so I have finished round 9. So at the end of round 9 you're going to have a total of 44 stitches. So now we're ready for round 10. So we're going to do more increasing. So you are going to work your extended single crochet in the next 10 stitches, and then in stitch 11 you're going to pop in 2 stitches to keep increasing. So at the end of round 10 you're going to have a total of 48 stitches. Okay, so I have just finished round 10. At the end of round 10 you're going to have a total of 48 stitches. So now we're going to go on to round 11, and we're going to do more increasing. We're getting close to the end of increasing, but we have a couple more rounds left to increase. So at round 11 you're going to work in the next 11 stitches and then pop in 2 stitches for stitch 12. So at the end of round 11 you're going to have 52 stitches. So I will meet you back. So we just finished round 11, and at the end of round 11 you will have a total of 52 extended single crochets. So now we're ready for round 12. So we have 2 more rounds of increasing. So round 12 you're going to work 12 extended single crochet and then pop in 2 stitches. And at the end of round 12 you're going to have 56 extended single crochet, and then for round 13 you're going to work 13 extended single crochet and then pop in 2 stitches, and you will have a total of 60 extended single crochet. So go ahead and work rounds 12 and 13, and I will meet you back at the end of round 13. Alright, so I have just finished round 13, so I have a total of 60 extended single crochet. So round 14 you're just going to work even and work 1 extended single crochet in each stitch for round 14, and we are done our increasing. Okay, so I have finished up round 14. I worked my 60 extended single crochet all the way around, and now I've switched to white here for round 15, and what you're going to do for round 15 is just work single crochet, just regular single crochet, not extended single crochet, all the way around for round 15. So I'm going to continue and I will meet you back. Okay, I've finished up round 15 working my single crochet, and now I've changed back to my peach color, my original color here, and what you want to do to finish off that round is we will be joining now. So I'm joining in the back loop here, because for round 16 we are working in the back loops. So we're going to work extended single crochet again. So you're going to chain 1 and extended single crochet right in that same stitch, and extended single crochet in the next one in the back loop, and you're going to continue all the way around working your extended single crochet in the back loop. So I'm going to keep going around for round 16 and I will meet you back. Okay, so I have finished up round 16 working my extended single crochet in the back loops. So now I am joining, I switched back to my white in the back loops in our first stitch here. So now we're ready for round 17. So for round 17 we're working in back loops again. We're going to chain 1 and work a single crochet right in that back loop, and we're going to continue to single crochet all the way around just like we did for round 15, but we're just working in the back loops here just to give it a little bit of texture. That's the reasoning behind it, just to kind of mix it up a little bit, add a little interest. So I'm going to continue by working my single crochet in the back loops all the way around for round 17. And at the end of round 17, you're going to join in both loops. And I will be switching to probably my other peachy pink color. So I will meet you back at the end of round 17. Okay, so I finished up round 17. Now I'm ready for round 18. We've joined in both loops. We're going to be working in both loops for round 18. So we're going to chain 1, and I've switched to my other color, and we're going to single crochet right in that same stitch. Our next stitch, we are working our shell stitch, our 5 double crochet. So we're going to skip this next stitch here. Did I say next stitch? I'm sorry. We are skipping the next stitch, and then we're going to work our shell in this next one. So the shell is 5 double crochet. Oops. Bumping things. I always do that, I think, at least once for every project. My hook flies out of the stitch and I at least bump the camera. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and stitch number 5. So now we are going to skip our next stitch here, and we're going to single crochet in our next stitch. And we're going to continue this around, so we're skipping the next and we're working the shell in the next. So what you're going to want to do is, it's going to be shell, single crochet, shell, single crochet all the way around. And you're going to skip a stitch before you work either your shell or your single crochet. So I'm going to meet you back at the end of round 18. We're getting close to being done, which is great. Okay, so I am almost done round 18. I'm just going to finish up my last shell here. Okay, so I'm going to switch now to my other color. So where are you? There you are. Whoops, picking up the short one. Okay. Yeah, there it is. I'm like, it's there. I know it's there. I didn't cut it. All right, so I'm going to finish off that stitch. And I've not cut my colors, and now I'm going to join in the back loop of my first single crochet here, and we'll be ready for round 19. So round 19, you're going to chain 3, and I'm going to work 4 double crochet, so that chain 3 is going to count as a stitch. And this is creating a shell. So we're basically, we're working another shell single crochet round here for round 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more stitch for number 5. Okay, so now we're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to single crochet in that center stitch here, or stitch 3. In the back loop, just like when we were working the top and part of the pants, we want to keep with the same sequence. So we're going to skip 2, or sometimes I don't even think you need to worry about that. We're working in the next single crochet. Sometimes if I'm writing it, I might even not have skip 2 because it's just extra words. You're just working right in the next single crochet, so you will be skipping these 2, and we're working our shell. So in every single crochet, you are going to work a shell in the back loop, and in every center stitch of your shell stitches from the previous row, you're working a single crochet. So you don't need to overthink it too much. It's pretty simple, and I think it just creates a pretty look. As I said before, I love shell stitches. I just think they're very pretty. I like pretty things. Alright, so now I'm going to work on my center stitch. So I'm going to keep going for this round. So as said before, each single crochet you're working a shell stitch, and then in your center stitch of your shell you're working a single crochet. So I will meet you back at the end of round 19. Okay, so I'm finishing up round 19, and I apologize, I did not say how many shells that you would have. So for this round, 15 shells, 15 shells, 15 single crochet. So now to finish up round 19, you're going to join with a slip stitch on top of your chain 3 here, And I am going to be switching to my other color. I'm just not doing it yet because we need to get set up for round 20, and round 20 will be your last round. So I am going to slip stitch in the next double crochet in both loops. And then now we are at our center double crochet, the next one, and I'm going to get ready to change. I'm working in my back loop there, getting my other color, and I am going to finish off that stitch with my slip stitch there. So now I'm ready to go. So now we're going to chain 1 for round 20 and single crochet right on top there. It's our center stitch. And now we're back to our sequence of our shell, single crochet, shell. So I'm going to shell right in my single crochet, still working in the back loop. So working my 5 double crochet, and now we skip 2 stitches, so 1, 2, and then single crochet right on the top. So I'm going to continue doing that for round 20. So when you get to the end of round 20, you are going to join in both loops and cut your yarn, because then we will be done our hat, except for weaving in ends, of course. So I will meet you back at the end of round 20. Alright, so I have finished my hat. So at the end of round 20, I joined and cut my yarn, and our hat is done here. So what you'll want to do is you will want to weave in all your ends, and if you need to block your hat gently, then certainly do that. And I hope you enjoyed this hat project. And now we are going to get ready to make the sandals, and we'll also make the beach bag. Okay, so now we're ready to work our sandals. So I'm going to use my peach here, and I'm still using my G 4.25mm hook. I know I mentioned that we'll be using smaller hook, and that will be for the beach bag. So for most of the outfit you're using your G hook, and then for the beach bag you will use the smaller hook. Alright, so we've got our slip knot on our hook, and we're going to get ready on working our sandals. And we're going to work on the soles of the sandals first. So what you want to do is you will chain 7. And these sandals hopefully will fit most 18-inch dolls' feet. I think some dolls' feet are slightly longer, so you might need to adjust. These, I've had other people make similar ones, and I usually use the same sole, and they usually fit. I just had one person say that the sandals were, or the shoes that they made were slightly too small. So there might be some issues with certain dolls' feet, but hopefully they'll fit most 18-inch dolls' feet. I know they'll fit American Girl, so hopefully I have 7 because I've been talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have 7 chains. So what we're going to do is now we're going to be working in rounds. So for round 1, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from our hook, and we're going to single crochet in our next 2 chains. So however you like to work in your chain, work in your chain. So I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from my hook, and I'm going to single crochet in the next 2 chains. So then I'll have a total of 3. So we have our 3 single crochet. Now I'm going to half double crochet in my next 2 chains. So here's a half double crochet here, and a half double crochet, sorry, focus camera, half double crochet in the next chain. Alright, so now we have 1 chain left. So in this last chain, we are working 5 half double crochet in the last chain. And 5, and as you can see, I'm starting to kind of curve it to the other side of the chain, because now we're going to work on the other side of the chain to finish up round 1. Alright, so now we are ready for the other side of the chain. So we're going to half double crochet in the next 2 chains. So 1 half double crochet in each, so there's 1. And there's the second one. So now we're going to single crochet in this chain here, one single crochet, and we're going to single crochet in the next one, and we will have one chain left. So now we are going to work 2 single crochet in our last chain. So 1 and 2, and round 1 will be complete. I'm going to pop in a stitch marker in my last stitch here, so you know that's your last stitch, because we are not joining with a slip stitch. And the nice thing is with these sandals, I believe they're all worked. I wrote this a while ago, so if I say I believe that these are worked all in one piece. We shall see, because I'm looking over at my notes as I am stitching this, because I actually wrote these a while ago. This whole pattern I wrote a long time ago. We're talking a couple years, and for some reason it just hasn't come into fruition until now. We had a lot of stuff going on, and then we moved, and if any of you have ever moved, that's a lot. So anyway, backstory, here we are finally getting this pattern to everyone. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Okay, so we have finished round 1, and at the end of round 1 you will have a total of 9 single crochet and, or I'm sorry, 9 half double crochet and 7 single crochet. Alright, so now we're going to get ready to work round 2. This is the sole, the bottom of your little sandal here. So we have not joined. I've got my stitch marker here. You don't have to use one. I just use it. It helps me out. And we are going to work 2 single crochet in our first stitch here. So we're going to pop 2 stitches right in that stitch. There we go, 2 single crochet. Now we're going to single crochet 1 stitch in the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, now for the next 5 stitches we are going to work 2 single crochet, so it'll be a total of 10. So there is stitch 1, we've put 2 single crochet in. This is stitch 2, putting 2 single crochet in. Alright, so now we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches, 1 stitch in each. 1, 2, 3, and stitch 4. Now we're going to, in this next stitch, we are working 2 single crochet. So I'm going to work my 2 single crochet in this stitch here. And now for this last stitch here, I've marked it with my stitch marker. We are actually going to work a slip stitch or joining it. We are not going to actually work a stitch in here. We're working a slip stitch, but we're finishing this row off by joining that round like that. And I pulled out my stitch marker, and at the end of round 2 you're going to have a total of 22 stitches. So now we have 22 stitches. This is our sole of our, so the bottom of the sandal is complete. So now we're going to continue, and we are not cutting our yarn. So now we'll be working in rows, and this is going to be the back of the heel. So what you're going to do is chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in the same stitch, and we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So now we've worked a total of 3 single crochet, and we are going to be working in rows for the back of the heel. So rows 2 and 3 are going to be the same. You're going to chain 1, you're going to turn your work, single crochet in each stitch. So single crochet in that same stitch, single crochet in the next, and single crochet in the next stitch. So that is row 2. So now we're going to chain 1 and turn, row 3, single crochet in that stitch, single crochet in that one, and single crochet in that stitch. So now we have worked the back of the heel here. Now it doesn't look like much yet, but it will come together, I promise. Alright, so I finished round 3 here, or not round, this is a row. We worked a row, this is the back of the heel. So how this shoe is going to work, or this sandal, this part is the bottom, and it's going to be like that. The doll's foot is going to rest in here, so where this, see that string? And this is why I'm explaining, this is important, so when we're now going to be working the straps. So what we need to do is chain 12. Alright, so we have our heel, we've chained 7. So this is the left side of our sandal, and we're going to be working on this side first. So what you want to do is we're going to skip 7 single crochet on the left side. I'm just going to turn it this way because it's going to be easier for me to work, especially with, you know, filming it as well. So what you want to do is, so this is where we worked. You can see the stitches worked in there. So you're going to count from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then in your next stitch, you're going to work your slip stitch. So that would be stitch 8. And we're connecting our first strap like that. So if you turn it back this way, you can see the strap is connected. So now what we're going to do, after you connected your strap, you're going to slip stitch right back in this chain, in these 12 chains. So however you wish to work in a chain, you know, work in it however you want to. It really doesn't matter. So there's 1, 2, 3, 'So I have 2 more to go. Here's stitch 11 and stitch 12, chain 12. So we've worked in a slip stitch in our chain 12 there. So now what we need to do is we are going to work across the back of this heel. So you're going to slip stitch across the 3 single crochet. So there's stitch 1, stitch 2, and stitch 3. So now we're going to be ready to work the right side of the shoe or the sandal. So now we are going to chain 12 again. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I have my 12 chains, and we're going to repeat what we did over here. We are going to skip 7 single crochet. So I'm just gonna turn that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then right here is stitch 8 and work my slip stitch. So now I've got my second strap attached. Okay, so now we need to work in this chain here to finish up. We are almost done our sandal. So what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch in the first 4 chains here. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the right strap that we're working. So we have worked 4 slip stitch there. So now we're going to connect these 2 straps to create the sandal effect. So what we need to do is we need to look at the other strap on the left side and skip 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to work in this guy. I'm actually going to place a a slip stitch. I will be placing a stitch marker in there just to mark it. And we're going to work in this chain here. So you're going to insert your hook in this chain. And now I'm going to insert my hook in where I put my stitch marker. Now, when you're working in the slip stitch part here, you can work however you want to in here. If you just want to work in 1 loop, 2 loops, it really doesn't matter. We're just connecting these straps and it will look fine when it's finished. So I will probably just work in the 1 loop there. And we're going to make 1 giant slip stitch across. And our first part of our strap is connected. I'm going to pull that guy out now. So now I'm going to insert my hook into my next chain of my right strap. And then the very next loop or stitch, however, as I said before, however you want to work. And then we're going to work a slip stitch through all of those stitches. And now we're going to go into the next chain and find my next loop or stitch from my left strap and work a slip stitch. Now we're done connecting our left strap to the right strap. Now I'm going to go back and just finish slip stitching in the rest of my chain on my other side here on my right strap. So it's a little bit fiddly, but it really isn't that hard. And 1 more chain, come on. There you are. And now after you've finished slip stitching, you have completed your first sandal. So I'm going to cut this yarn here. So now it definitely looks more like a sandal shape. And see, it doesn't matter where I worked in there. It looks completely fine. I think it's very cute. So to put this on the doll, this is for the back of the doll's foot here, the heel. So you'll put the foot in there, and then the little toes will be peeking out the front. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to repeat these directions for your other sandal, and then your sandals will be done. Alright, so now we have both sandals done. So now the sandals are done and we're going to get ready to work on the beach bag. And of course for these sandals, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to weave in all your loose ends, and then they'll be ready for your doll to wear. So I hope you enjoyed this project. Okay, so now we're going to work on the beach bag of our little capri pants set here. So I'm using my F hook now, or 3.75 millimeter. And I thought I'll make the bag with white. So we are going to make our slip knot and we're going to get started. So to start off, we're going to chain 8, and the bag is going to be made bottom up. Okay, so we have our 8 chains here. So now I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from my hook, and single crochet across to the last chain. So we've now worked 6 single crochet here. I'm at my last chain. So in the last chain here, we're going to work 3 single crochet, and however you like to work in the chain. I just kind of flick that little tail out of the way there. So now I have my 3 single crochet, and now we're going to work on the other side of the chain. So I'm going to single crochet in the next, and I'm going to keep going across here. So we have 1 more left here, and in the last chain here I'm going to work 2 single crochet. And now we're going to be working in rounds. And it's going to be continuous rounds, so what you'll want to do is you're going to want to pop a stitch marker in that last stitch there to mark your stitch. Sorry, I had to pause there, couldn't find my stitch marker. So there's my stitch marker marking my last stitch. So we just completed, this is round 1, and at the end of round 1 you're going to have a total of 16 single crochet. So for round 2, you're just going to single crochet all the way around, so 1 stitch in each. So you will have a total of 16 single crochet. Whoops. No, I always have to have my hook fly out. Oh my goodness. It's really not that hard, just a single crochet. There we go. You'd think it'd be like super difficult stitch. So I'm going to continue working my single crochet all the way around for round 2. Okay, so I completed round 2. I placed my stitch marker in my last stitch. So now we're ready for round 3. So round 3, you're just going to work 2 single crochet in each stitch. And at the end of round 3, you will have a total of 32 stitches. So there's one and there's the second one. So we are doing an increase here, and you're just popping in 2 stitches in each stitch to do your increase. So I will meet you back at the end of round 3. Okay, so I have completed round 3. I have my 32 stitches here. I've got my stitch marker in my last stitch to mark it. So now we are going to continue repeating round 2, which is working even 1 stitch in each. So for rounds, so we're technically on round 4, but we're repeating round 2. So hopefully that's not confusing. And so rounds 4 through 10, we're just working 1 stitch in each. So then your beach bag is, slowly going to grow. So this part is the bottom here. And then it'll start to, cup that's what you want to create the bag shape. So I'm going to continue in my rounds 4 through 10, working 1 stitch in each. And I will meet you back at the end of round 10. Alright, I've just finished up round 10 here, and as you can see I added another color there, just did 2 rounds of the other color and back to my original color. And so now we're ready for round 11. So for round 11 we're going to increase a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet in our next stitch and work 2 single crochet in the next. And we're going to continue to do that around. So single crochet in the next, 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet in the next. So I'm going to keep doing that all the way around for round 11, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I just finished round 11. At the end of round 11, once you've increased, you did your single crochet and 2 single crochet, single crochet, 2 single crochet all the way around, you will have a total of 48 stitches. So now we're ready for rounds 12 through 17, and what you're going to do is work even again. So that just means 1 stitch in each stitch, so you'll have 48 stitches. So I will meet you back at the end of round 17, so keep using your stitch marker there to mark your last stitch, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I have finished round 17, so we worked even up to round 17. So now we're on round 18. We're almost done our little bag here. So now we're going to work the handles. So we are going to single crochet in the next 14 stitches. So just 1 stitch in the next 14. So I've worked 1 stitch in the next 14 stitches. I'm still using my stitch marker there. So what we're going to do now is we are going to chain 13. So I have my 13 chains here, and now we are going to skip 11 stitches. So you're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then in your next stitch, which would be stitch 12, you are going to work a single crochet. And we have our beginning of our first handle there, right there. So now we are going to work 1 single crochet in the next 10 stitches, counting this one, so we'll have a total of 11. Or not counting this one, it's 10 more, and then counting this one, it's 11. So sorry for the confusion there. So I'm going to keep working 10 more stitches and then I will have a total of 11. Okay, so we have a total of 11 stitches here. So now we are going to chain 13 again, just like we did on the other side. Then you're going to skip 11 stitches and then single crochet. Right here is your last stitch. And then you'll have your second handle. Okay, so I have completed my second handle here for round 18, and I was really playing yarn chicken. That's all she's left there of that white. So I have forced to switch to another color here. I'm still keeping my stitch marker there. So what you're going to do for rounds 19 and 20, so not round 19, you're going to single crochet all the way around, and when you get to your chain, you're going to work in your chain. So you will want to work 13 stitches in your chain, and then you're going to go back and single crochet, and you'll go back to your other chain and work your 13 stitches and then your last stitch here. And then round 20 you're going to work even. So at the end of round 19 you're going to have 52 stitches because we added 2 with our chain here, and then round 20 of course you'll have 52. So I'm going to work even around and I'll meet you back. Alright, so rounds 19 and 20 we worked in the chain. I guess you could work around the chain if you wanted as well, but I worked in the chain my 13 stitches and I have a total of 52. So I just finished my last stitch, and then you can join in the first stitch and then you can finish it off by cutting your yarn. And this will be the back side. Whoops, bumping things. So here is the front of the bag. If you flip it over, here's the finished bag. So I thought what would be cute to finish off this bag. So what we did with the top, we had added for the ties a little flower here. So I thought we could do that for the bag, like a little embellishment. You know how some little bags, some people have like cute little keychains or whatever hanging off their bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my yarn. So this is the front side of the bag. I'm considering this the back here. So on the front side here, I'm going to attach my yarn just right next to the handle here. So I have my yarn here and just attaching it right in that stitch right there. And now I'm going to chain 12. Okay, so I have my 12 chains, so I am going to work a double crochet in the 4th chain from my hook. So 1, 2, 3, and right here, number 4, just working a double crochet. And this will be the first petal for our flower, starting it off. And now I'm going to chain 3. And I'm going to work a slip stitch right back in that same stitch. And the first petal is completed right there. So now I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to make 5 petals, just like we did with the little top there, the little halter top we made. Whoops. Yeah, okay, we can do this. So I chain 3, double crochet right back in that same stitch. And chain 3 and work my slip goodness gracious, really this is easy. I'm making it hard. Alright, so we need to work 3 more petals, so we're going to chain 3, double crochet right back in that stitch, chain 3 again. Well, I feel like it's a comedy of errors now. And slip stitch right back in that stitch. Yes, I have crocheted before. Doesn't seem like it, does it? Alright, so we're going to chain 3 again. So we have 3 petals. And double crochet right back in that stitch. Chain 3. And slip stitch right back in that guy. So we have 4, and we're going to do 1 more. So chain 3, double crochet, chain 3 again, and slip stitch right back in there. And now what we need to do is we're going to go back to our chain and we're going to work a slip stitch. So wherever you can, you know, find the first chain, we're not going to worry about counting. Just get as close as you can to your flower there and just slip stitch up your chain. Whoops. You know what? I might do that off camera. It's a little tricky trying to do it on camera, slip stitching. I feel like I'm just fumbling and bumbling here. So let me finish up off camera and then I'll meet you back. Okay, so I have slip stitched up my chain. Now I'm going to slip stitch right back in that same stitch just to kind of anchor it a little bit better. Now I want to have 2 little flowers hanging off here. You can just, you know, stop at 1, or you don't have to put any if you don't want to. And I want my second one to be a little bit longer than my first one. So I think I'm going to work a chain of 16. And you can make your chain as long as you want to. You know, you don't have to have it at 12 or 16, or, you know, or you don't have to put the flower on at all. Okay, I have my 16 chains and I'm just going to do the same thing as I did for this flower here. So I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll meet you back. Okay, so I have finished my second flower here. So I have 2 flowers. So I worked up my chain and now I'm just going to go right back in that stitch again, anchor it, slip stitch right in there, and I'm going to cut my yarn. So I think 2 is going to be enough for our little beach bag. So of course now what you would want to do is you would want to weave in all of your ends, and if you need to give it a little bit of a light block, there's my end, there we go. You can certainly do that as well. But there is the finished project here of our little 5-piece set, where we have that part 1 is the top and the pants, and then part 2 we made the hat, the little sandals, and here is the beach bag. So I hope you enjoyed this project and I thank you so much for watching.